Hey everyone, what's up? Today we're going to be looking at how to go between Daz Studio, Blender, and Marvelous Designer. Alright, so here I am in Daz. I'm just going to get a figure and I'm going to give him a pose. Let's go with this one. Alright, let's go with this one. So now, first thing I'm going to do is get it into Blender. So I'm using the Daz to Blender add-on. And I added it up here. If it doesn't show up here, you can go to Window, Workspace, Customize, and then you can usually find it in the custom part here and just add it in toolbars here. Now there are more tutorials online on how to set it up, so I'll let you go check those out if you're having some trouble. Or you can ask me a question in the comments and I'll try to answer it. So go up here and click Daz to Blender. So in this window, really the only thing I do is select animation here, and that's pretty much it. Now if you want to have subdivision levels on your mesh, you can choose that here, different levels. I'm just gonna keep it at 0 and click accept. Alright, so now I'm gonna open up Blender, and again you have to install the Daz to Blender add-on, which is actually not installed, so I'll do that right now. Go here, add-ons, install. Daz to Blender. Turn that on, and then it shows up here. You can press N to make this window show up. So you just click import new Genesis figure. Actually, one thing before we do that, if you're using Octane for Blender, you want to untick those, otherwise it's gonna change your render engine back to cycles. Alright, so I've got my character imported here, and Daz automatically gives you a bunch of stuff that I don't really need, so I'm just gonna delete all of this. There we go. Alright, so I have my armature here, and then the mesh for the guy and the eyelashes. So you can see it automatically gives you a bunch of keyframes, which I don't want. So I'm going to select the armature, delete all of those, and then I'm going to press Ctrl Tab to go into pose mode. Press A to select all the bones, and again delete everything. Alright, so I've got my pose here, and I'm going to do a little animation. So I'm going to press A to select all the bones, and press I and A, which is going to select location and rotation. I'll go down my timeline a little bit and change something. Whoops. Doesn't really matter, it's just an example here. There we go. So again, press A to select all the bones, and then IA. So now I've got a little animation going. Now another thing I'm going to do is select all my keyframes and move them down a little bit. There we go. And then again press A to select all the bones, and press Alt R and Alt G to reset the rotation and location. I'm also going to take the shoulder bones here and move them up so he's in a T-pose. Now the reason I do this is that when you're in Marvelous Designer, it's a lot easier to make your clothes on a character that's T-posed and then just let it animate. Alright, so I've got everything set up here. I'm just gonna enter 80 here so my animation doesn't go on longer than I need. So now how do I get this into Marvelous Designer? Well, I'm gonna first of all check my normals. So you can go up here, click face orientation, and if everything is blue, that's good. If it's red, say for example we have these which are red, you need to select all of them. Let's see. There we go. And then press Shift N and if that doesn't work, try pressing Ctrl-Shift-N. Alright, so everything's blue, it's good. If you have some inverted normals in Marvelous Designer, it's not going to work. The cloth is just going to like go through the mesh, and it's going to be a real mess. Alright, so I'm going to select my mesh and then press File, Export, Alembic. You can try FBX as well, but I usually just do Alembic. It usually works just fine for me, so that's the one I use. And let's call it Dude for Marvelous. There we go. Now it's exported. Let's open up Marvelous Designer. Alright, so I'm going to go File, Import Alembic, and select my file. Now here you have a bunch of options. Usually just leave it as is. You can set your FPS according to your Blender file. And yeah. So one thing you want to check is that the scale is correct. So this is a good scale. You can see according to the grid, if it's like this tall, then it's way too small. And you can actually use the let's see, height measure avatar, and then click on the top of his head. So that's 180 centimeters, which is good. If it's like way too small or way too big, when you import your file, you can change the percentage for the size. Now you want to make sure the size is correct, because if it's not, then the cloth is not going to react the way it's supposed to, right? Okay, so I'm just going to make a basic shirt for him or something. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to go into animation and record. So right here you have the animation data for the body mesh and the eyelashes, which I don't really need. You can just delete the eyelashes when you import into Marvelous, since you don't really need them, but that's fine. So I'm actually gonna give him some sleeves as well, just so we can see the animations on the arms better. So back into simulation. Alright, there we go. So let's go back into animation and record again. Cool. So now I've got my animation. Let's just select. Okay, so now I'm going to select everything, go up here, File, Export as Alembic. I usually use this one. I'm honestly not sure what the other ones do, but this one usually works just fine. There we go. Now you have a bunch of options here. I usually don't touch them, just leave it like this. Okay, let's go back to Blender and import the Alembic. Okay, so where the hell are my clothes? Well, the thing is, they are massive. So you gotta press S, 0.001, and there we go. It's gonna make it the right size. And yeah, there we go. It works. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to answer you as best as I can. And yeah, hope you found it useful. See ya.